Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/campaign to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me.
2021.
That doesn't feel like a real year.
It doesn't. But also because last year didn't exist, then it just is like a wash anyway. Whenever I say, like, when I actually say, when I'm not referring to 20, if I'm like telling a story and I said this happened last year, I actually mean 2019.
100%.
Yeah.
This is all of this collectively as a world. We should just all say that this is just 2020 part 2. And when the pandemic is over, then we can go to 2021.
And then everything's just, yeah. And then we don't have like half a year for 2020 part 2.
Yeah. And, you know, I think it'll really teach the children in history class. They'll just be like, get ready for this 150-page chapter of 2020. And they're like, there's more? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, everyone, this is an advice podcast. My name is Megan. I'm joined by my co-host, Melissa.
What it do, baby?
Boo. What it do, baby boo?
I was going to say something else, but then I stopped myself. And I'm not going to share. Nope.
Oh, okay. She's a secretive. Look at you. So mysterious.
Me?
We're an advice podcast. You call in, you leave us voicemails, and then we give fantastic, amazing advice. And what we lack in credentials, we make up for in opinions. We are two opinionated broads, bitches.
Ladies. Gals.
Girl. Boss. So sorry. It's just a visceral reaction to girl boss. It kills me. I'm like, I don't own a single essential oil. Take that back.
I mean, I have one right here.
Is it Young Living?
No, it's Nick Viles.
True. I did know that. I should have remembered. What a time. If you want to call in for an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. We ask that you are 18 or over, have your parents' permission to call in. You let us know your pronouns, write down everything, and practice, because you got to keep it under 3 minutes or you will be snipped, cut off.
Mm-hmm. And we'd rather know like all the information than your astrological sign.
Yes. It like a prerequisite to every call. We need to know how old you are, how old the other parties are. And if it's about relationships, we need to know how long you've been dating.
Yes. Or if it's a friendship, how long the friendship has been happening. Time period. Just put time periods on everything.
Yes. That's really helpful. Your zodiac sign, while it is fun for us to guess, doesn't really change anything.
It's fun for Megan.
It's fun for me to guess.
Yes.
It doesn't change absolutely anything. And it's also still kind of more fun for me if I don't know your astrological sign and then I can guess. But if you want to include it, go ahead. But only if you are also including all of those other things and you have the time. And you can do it at the end. What's new with you? What's up?
Well, as you know, Megan, but I don't know if the people listening know, we record 2 episodes in a day and we take a little break in between the episodes. And during my break today, I went out to the bathroom
I don't know this.
I know. I'm just saying, as you know, as far as like we take breaks.
Okay.
Not the
I was
story.
like, I'm so sorry. I blacked this out. Why did you tell me this?
I went to the bathroom and I had on panties, and I'm very confused about this.
Underwear.
I don't know
Don't
why
say that
I
word.
had the panties on. Because I don't wear them like ever in life. So at some like today after I took my shower, I put them on and I don't know why.
Don't you have your period?
No.
Oh.
And even when I'm on my period, I wear cups so that it doesn't leak. So I don't even wear them while I'm on my period. So like, I don't understand how I blacked out enough to put on panties. And like, I just don't like, even in a normal day for the last like 20 years, I have not worn panties. So I don't understand why I have them on right now.
Is it a unique pair?
No.
Did you take are you done with your period?
No.
You still have your period?
No, mine actually hasn't started. Like I have cramps. It was just after, I mean, I took a shower this morning, so literally I put them on. So I don't know why that would have been part of even my thought process to put them on. That's so funny.
Do you keep, like, where do you keep your underwear? Because you never wear them.
I took my clothes out of the dryer. So I washed clothes and I realized like in my hamper, because I was just wearing the same sweatpants every day, that I had like clothes in the hamper that I hadn't washed in once. And I was like, I got to wash these. So I was just pulling some shorts out of there. I guess I put on.
Maybe you accidentally washed underwear and then you like took it out of the dryer and then you just like autopilot. You were like, these are the clothes that I pulled out. Let me put them on my body.
That's the only thing that would make sense.
That's so funny. I got into a accidental habit that it kept over and over and over again for like, I forget what summer it was. It was the summer we were filming The Honor List. I could not for the life of me not put my underwear on backwards every day. Every day I put my underwear on either backwards or inside out. And I would be like, God, I am so uncomfortable. And I would like make a point to be like, don't do it. Don't do it. And then the first time I would go to the bathroom, once I got to set, I'd be like, I fucking did it again. Every time. It was so weird. I don't know why. It was really fucking uncomfortable too. So we start all of our episodes with a live update. So we're going to hear from someone who had called in on a previous episode, and we're going to hear about what happened after the call.
Yeah. Her call was from February 8th, 2021, season 7, episode 11 was the original call.
My military ex-boyfriend came back into town and he started showing up to my work. And he also, there's people telling me that he fucked one of my friends.
I hate him, by the way.
And the question that you had for me was like, how do we all know each other? How does my old friends know my new friend? It's because I live in a really small town and I've not been able to get out of here yet. So I have known them for a really long time. And also my boyfriend's cousin is also friends with my ex. So that's how we all know each other.
God damn. Hate a small town.
Yeah.
Hate a small town. So what has happened
What's going
since?
on now?
So what's happened is your advice was to like not overreact about him fucking my friend, but my boyfriend kind of already did that because he was like, why would you do that? Like, she's your friend. He was toxic, really manipulative. And she like stopped talking to us for a while. And she also texted him and was saying that I was like obsessed with him, like my ex-boyfriend. And I was like, no, I'm not. But they said that she was also like saying that she never fucked him ever. But then he like sent her jewelry, like he sent her a ring for Valentine's Day. And actually right after I called with that update, everything kind of blew up.
Oh no.
And it was because supposedly he thought that they were dating because he sent her that ring. But they never fucked at all.
So where did that come from again? That came from another friend telling you?
Oh, yeah.
Him?
Who told you that they hooked up?
It was my boyfriend's cousin, and he's kind of got a reputation for lying. But she also lied to us because she said that she was, like when we were in an argument with all of them, she said she's going to go over there and kind of tell him off and tell him that it wasn't right that they were saying all that mean stuff about me and my friend. But she didn't actually do that.
Mm.
Oh my! How many people are in this town? Are there more than 12? Can you just like ditch all of them? Like this just sounds so.
So the rumor, like with him, with your friend fucking your ex, that would have never started if the cousin hadn't said anything, right?
Yeah, he was saying that there is even a video of it and that he's seen the video.
Why is he so bored?
Yeah.
Small town, I guess. But like, you shouldn't be that bored.
No.
To, like, a rumor.
And to ruin people's lives.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I think we said it in the original call, but like that girl, like, she's not your friend. And like, I think like this is kind of proven to you, like, if I were you, I would have like a sit down talk with your boyfriend to be like, okay, here's the thing. We're going to set up these strong boundaries. We're not friends. I'm not friends with these fucking people anymore. Like, if you want to be friends with them, like, then like this relationship can't continue on because these people have treated me like absolute shit. If your cousin wants to be an instigator, like, we're just not going to engage. And if he wants to like try and talk all of this kind of shit, like, he's a cousin. Like, I get that it's family, but at the end of the day, like, I'm just not going to answer your fucking calls if you're going to be like this petty and dramatic and all of that kind of stuff. Cause like, this is so not like worth, I don't think there's like any relationship in here other than like your current relationship. If you're happy in your current relationship, that's the only relationship that like you should walk away from this situation from. Like, there's no use in trying to like mend whatever, because like anyone who's like engaging with your ex is not your friend, regardless of like how polite it is, or like, oh, I'm just like, you know, even being like, oh no, I'm going to go like tell him off or whatever. Like, that's like not what your friends are supposed to do. Your friends would be like, what do you want me to do? Like, how can I help you? How can I support you? But like them being like, oh, I'm going to go reach out to him and talk to him is like, as someone who's confrontational as fuck, like would never reach out to like one of my friend's exes afterwards. I'd be like, they're like such a loser. We're not even going to give them the time of day. You know?
Yeah. And I also forgot to mention like that she is actually with him right now. She like traveled to the state that he was in and she's with him right now.
So then they are dating now.
Well, they said that she says that they're not dating though, but she went to go see him.
She's just wearing the Pandora ring he got her.
Yeah. And like, I know, like you said, she's not my friend, but like, I don't want her to have to go through that, like what I had to go through. Like,
but you have to get like, there's literally nothing that you can say or do that will prevent that from happening. Because like, if I saw my friend go through an experience and like it was so toxic and manipulative and horrible, I hate that guy. I have no desire to be friends with that guy or anything like that. Like, but if she sat there, saw all of this fucking shit happen, and like, regardless if there wasn't even, if there like nothing happened between you two and it was like no bad blood, it was just your ex, she wouldn't be hanging out with him. Like, that's not on you. And it's not like anything that you've done. Like, that's a character flaw in her that like you can't protect her from herself and her own decisions and her own choices that she's making. Like,
does she have other friends that she can lean on?
She does, but she usually talks to like my best friend about it. And like, even I was hanging out with my best friend the other day and she's like, yeah, like she was telling me about him and he doesn't even like seem bad anymore. Like, I think he's changed. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But literally last week he was calling her a whore.
I think just because we don't want to leave her isolated with like no friends. So maybe you consistently talking to that connecting friend. And so then that friend can like share information with her without you having to directly go to her.
Well, that's the only issue is like if you're the only one who, if he's bamboozling and hoodwinking everyone, it's also not your response. Like that's a full-time job to kind of counteract the lies and manipulation he's doing to everyone. Because like at the end of the day, like if she's not even really thinking that they're dating, which like, or being like, oh, we're not dating, and he's like more obsessed with her or not or whatever. There's also some truth to the fact that like, not that I'm saying that like your friend is right at all, but the reason why people can believe that and kind of fall for that is because like some people aren't toxic as a whole. Sometimes relationships are toxic and they don't work. And that like you can be in a toxic relationship and it's because these two parties don't work together. And then the next relationship, like it does work. That is like something that does happen, but like people also neglect to say a lot of that happens with like a long time being single, therapy, figuring out what's toxic about you that you bring to a relationship and really working on it. It's not this kind of like, oh, now I'm in a brand new relationship and suddenly like I'm not manipulative and I'm not toxic. Like it just works better. That's not how it goes. But a lot of the time from the outside, that's how people kind of see it. But like if nobody else, if you've warned them, they've known, they've seen all of this, like, I think it's not even about being like, hey, I'm worried about you. It's like, hey, this really hurts me. Like you hanging out with my ex, being friends with my ex, dating him, like this really hurts me. And I feel like after everything that you know that like I went through in this relationship, like I am ultimately hurt, but there's a huge part of me that like doesn't want you to feel that hurt that I felt and like go through like this horrible relationship in the same trajectory that mine did. And I can't, as much as I like want to like save you from this, I can't. So if you ever like are going through it, like, and you want to reach out, I'm never going to say I told you so. I'm never going to be a bitch about it. Like I'm here to talk about that, but like I'm not able to like just kind of be on the sidelines of your relationship as it's going on because this is just really fucking painful for me. So like if you need to talk about it and if shit hits the fan, like I'm here. But other than that, like I can't be involved in this at all. And like even your best friend, like that's something that like she should know, have the conversation with her too of being like, you know how toxic this relationship was, like you know how shitty this was and all of that kind of stuff. And like I can't hear about this from her. Like this isn't like productive or helpful to my relationship. And like, I really hope he doesn't manipulate you two and make you feel like he's this great guy. And like, ultimately I would love if he became this great guy. I just have a hard time believing it this quickly and like from their relationship. So like, please just keep a lookout on her because like, I wish that like someone had been there looking out when I was in this. Like, this is something that I know really well, but like, it's not your responsibility as someone who's been through like an emotionally abusive or toxic relationship. It's not your responsibility to like relive that trauma to prevent other people from going through that. The only thing you can do is like hand them the information that you know and hand the support system to that person, the same information that you know, and then protect yourself in that kind of situation. Because like just the whole thing, like you shouldn't have to. This shouldn't be like, he should not be a topic that comes up in your life unless like you're in therapy talking about it or bringing it up. Like if he's just a character in like the ensemble cast of your like life and friend group, like that's going to be really, really hard on not only you, but on your relationships with the people that he has active relationships with, because you're going to get into like savior mode, which doesn't help you move on or like feel, it also doesn't like change anything, which like sucks to say that like we always want to prevent the other people going from the same hurt that like we've been through. And believe me, I've fucking done that. There is like a part of us that I think it's us trying to like rewrite our own history and kind of like get that closure, quote unquote, or like make us feel better about like the shit that we dealt with or make it feel like it had a purpose or something like that, or protecting someone else from it. But we can't get that invested in other people's relationships because we don't know what they're going to do. And then when they don't do the thing that we've told them to do, or like we really think that they should do, it can feel like a personal failure when it's not at all. And we're back. Should we get into the rest of the call?
First call?
Oh, that's what I would say. Let's get into the first call. Get into the rest of the call. First call.
Hey, Megan and Melissa. I'm a 25-year-old who just got back into a committed relationship. My boyfriend and I have been dating for about 6 months now, and he decided it was time for me to meet his parents. Well, his parents have separated, so we decided it would be better to have 2 dinners to meet them. The first dinner was with his mom, and it went very well. But the second dinner was with his dad, and that's where the problems began. So it turns out I used to regularly hook up with his dad. A little backstory on that is when I was 21, I just got out of a really toxic 5-year relationship and decided that myself and my friend were going to single-handedly take down my city, if you know what I mean. About a month into doing that, I met an older man, I think he was 45 at the time, at the club. We started regularly hooking up, and we would go on vacations together on and off for about 2 years. I think I really liked the relationship because it was really fun. It was nothing serious, and it just seemed like I was hanging out with a friend who would regularly hook up with. I ended up breaking it off because he started getting really controlling over me and worried about my birth control, saying he was too old to have a baby, which I was not talking about because I wasn't and am not ready for a baby. We hadn't talked since I called it off. Flash forward to now, after I realized who his dad was, I wasn't sure if I should tell him or just pull the dad aside and act like we hadn't met before and nothing ever happened between us. But now his dad is messaging me saying that he misses me and that we had so much fun and he's ready to have a baby with me. I'm not sure what to do. I don't want to come off shady and not tell my boyfriend because I love him so much, but I'm afraid he will look at me a different way and not want to be with me anymore. Thank you in advance for your advice, and I love you both and your podcast.
Your ex hookup wants to have your current boyfriend's sibling with you.
Baby, you're going to have a new sibling. Say hi to mommy. Oh my God. I should have known this was going to be crazy based on how nonchalant you were about this call. Because anytime someone, it's like some crazy bomb and it's just like, well, boop, 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 boop. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
First of all, I really like your spirit. How after your breakup, you're like, you were going to take down the city, you and your friends.
She was the Batman of pussy. Like she was like,
what would her signal be? Just a dick flashing in the air?
Yeah. Literally just an eggplant. Yeah. Just like, that's like,
I'm not
your
well.
vagina's the Batmobile. I'm not well. I love your outlook. I love that choice that you made. Has it kind of bit you in the ass? Yes.
But like,
I don't
it's
think
not of any fault of hers. She was
not
it's
at
just
all.
a weird when you take on the whole city, the next person that you date gotta be somebody from the neighboring city. Because there's probably some
overlap. Yeah. This is like, I'm so, I don't want to say I'm so happy that this is your life, but like, I'm so, like, I love the outlook, and the fact that this is like the result of that does not mean that you should not have done that or anything like that. Like, this is just, if you are just so fucking cool. Can you imagine being her boyfriend? Can you imagine just her being like, hey, by the way, I just feel like I should let you know, like, your dad and I used to hook up. I'm sorry, that is
But the thing is, relationships are going to get ruined because of this, because you have to tell your boyfriend that you used to hook up with his dad, and you have to tell your boyfriend that his dad wants to give him a sibling via you. So you would be like, this kid's like, you would be, but the thing is, you would be your boyfriend's stepmom, the child's kid, or the child's kid. Did the dad say he wanted a relationship? Because he could be the child's kid. She could be the child's kid. And like, they're, like, I mean, like, sister-in-law. But like, it wouldn't even just be in-law.
I'm unwell. I am so unwell. I also just would love everyone right now to take a moment to envision a 45-year-old man at the club. But I need to know. I need to know what he looked like, or where you were on running through your list of people in your city, because like, I just need to know.
Last time that we got somebody about the in the club thing was like their mom had gone and picked up a younger lover as well.
Well, if you want to pick up a lover, the club is where to go. The club, but the best place to find out. What's that Ed Sheeran song? Ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Whatever it is. This is...
Yeah. Here's the thing. You have to tell your boyfriend.
You have to. And
best case scenario, he's like, what the fuck? Fuck my dad. Like,
no,
that's disgusting.
She's not going to say that because she already has.
He's going to say, what the fuck? My dad's the worst. I'm so sorry that he's messaging you that stuff. Like, we're not going to have a relationship with him. Like, that's creepy as shit. And then he's going to chew out his dad. Or he's going to be like, what the fuck? I can't get over this. I can't move past this. We're breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need you to promise us that you're not going to then go fuck his dad.
Right. Because
the result of getting your heart broken and getting dumped is not then becoming his stepmom.
Mm-hmm. This is, as an avid soap opera watcher and someone who has started watching multiple soap operas now, this is wild. And this is only something that I would see on there.
And to be a fly on the wall for that, because like neither of you have said anything. You've been to the dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Like you walked in, saw it was him. I would die to see how you and his father reacted and acted the whole night, and just him being like, well, your boyfriend being like, oh,
but the father
weird.
Like obviously thought it was a good ass time, and he loved it since he's trying to put a baby in her now.
Like, is he trying to break you up?
That was going to be my other thing, was like, maybe he was just saying it to scare, like he felt very weird about the situation, and like he doesn't know how to bring it up to his son, and so he's just going to try to scare you off by saying that he wants to put a baby in you. But the thing is, she never wanted a baby to even begin with.
I know.
He's the only one that had the baby on the brain. So that's why I think it might be that he brought up the baby the first time when you guys were together to scare you away. And now he's bringing it up so that you could end this relationship with his son. So then there's not any weirdness going on.
But the first time she said that he broke up with her because like he didn't want a baby. And she's like, we never talked about
exactly.
a baby.
I think he used that as an excuse to end things.
To gaslight her and manipulate and make her think that she said that.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And now he's like, I don't want things to be strange around my son. I know, like, we all know that it will inevitably get out. Maybe if I tell her I want now to, like, finally put a baby in her, then she'll just break things off with my son. And then she'll be out of our lives.
That is so dumb, but so plausible. Holy shit. I know I shouldn't say this, but there is no other time we've ever had a call that I've ever wanted just to be on speakerphone while the conversation with your boyfriend happens. I've never wanted one more. I'm so curious if this is something that like
this is like, it's worse than the girl that slept with the three brothers.
Yeah, because I mean we had closer in age, and like there was some intent with that. But this, like, I'm so curious, like, is this going to be like, is his reaction going to be like, oh, another one? My dad has slept with like a lot of like, especially like the location wise, like if you guys are in the same like area, or like if he's like hometown area and it's like there's only like a couple clubs or whatever, like the chances that he's like hooked up with his other, like his like female friends from high school or something like that, like not when they were in high school, when they were like of age. But that, all of that stuff, like, I'm just so curious what the fuck. And also like to like just on and off hook up for like 2 years. I'm so curious. I am so curious what your boyfriend, his interpretation of like his dad's character is, or like what his dad does. Like, is this going to be like completely out of left field, or like I could totally see his dad being the kind of like dad where they like talk about girls and like, yeah, like getting ass, like, and all that stuff. And they've like broed out talking about having sex with the same girl. You know who you need to talk to about this? His mom.
No, that's the last person to talk to. Absolutely not. Hey, so I know that like we're connected through your son, but we're also connected through your son's father.
Can you just imagine her relief of being like, I am so glad we are divorced? You have to tell your boyfriend. And here's the thing, it's probably going to change your relationship. But you have to tell him because he will find out, and it is going to be so much fucking worse if he doesn't find out from you. Mm-hmm. Because like he doesn't have any ties to you. He has ties to his family. And so like that's a relationship that like is like naturally going to be just have more opportunities to mend itself because like it's family.
I think you just got to prepare yourself for the worst though.
Oh no, totally. But you have to, there is no sense of prolonging it because it will get out. And if it doesn't come from you, the only chance that you have of you guys moving forward and being able to continue having a relationship is if you're the one who tells him.
Yeah.
It's the only chance. But you should prepare for the fact that I think he will probably not want to date you because I think he will picture his dad fucking you.
Mm-hmm. They already shared the same home. Twice.
Oh my God.
Twice because
they're tunnel buddies.
But like, what if
Shut the fuck up because he went through his mom. You are disgusting. You are disgusting, but you are correct.
If he was a vaginal birth.
But I mean, to be fair, he
did shoot out of his dad.
He swam on up that cooch via his dad. You guys were technically inside her at the same time. I'm so sorry. I just want you to know that we are on your side. Mm-hmm. Not that there's even sides for this. I love you. I love your confidence.
I love energy, your nonchalantness.
I love your whole mentality. I love your life, and I would love to hear more.
Mm-hmm. Please call. I need you to immediately send us an email and DM us as soon as you hear this, and we will book you on the next episode to get an update. Yes. Because we need to know. Because I have so many questions for you.
Mm-hmm. I need pictures too.
Yeah.
I need pictures of everybody.
Mom too.
Yeah. I also need to know, like, when you're casually hooking up with like a 45-year-old when you're 21 on and off for like 2 years, where do you hook up with him? Like, what's his house like? Like, does he have a condo, bachelor pad? Did you know he had kids? Do you like not talk about anything? Like, what was his house like? Is a single man in his 40s, does he still have black sheets or does he go for white sheets?
Also, do they look alike? I mean, you clearly have a type.
That's a good fucking call. Did it make sense to you as soon as you saw the dad? Was it like, yes? Like, did it click? Because you're probably right that it's a type that it's like, ugh. And were you happy with thinking about what he would look like when he's older? Is there other siblings involved?
Have you fucked any of the other siblings?
Yeah. What city are you in?
Figure it out.
It's only 6 months. If you took the city by storm, mm-hmm. and I'm assuming your boyfriend is like a local because his dad was a local like 5 years ago. So I'm assuming that like same circle. Is this the only in the Venn diagram? Is this the only crossover?
Yeah.
Because I think if we can get over this, that's great. But I think everything should be tackled first because like you don't want to get over this and then find out that there's like another one.
Yeah.
And I need to know about these clubs. I need to know about like were you doing charity work with this man or like was he like a hot daddy?
Yeah.
Do you like the dad more than the son? Or if you get broken up with, are you going to then retaliate? A la fucking triplets? No, fucking the twins and then the brother?
Just call us. Just call us back.
We have so many questions. This is insane. I love this.
Thank you for sharing with us. I'm sorry that you've been through this, but I feel like you're going to have a great story.
I agree. And I think like, if anything, what this story has told me is you are a great time. You are very pretty. You are fun. And your life is going to be of envy of thousands of people. Mm-hmm. So like you are doing it right. And I know for a fact our whole audience will love you. Like, this is iconic. I just picture this as a rom-com, like a Christmas rom-com. Like, oops, fucked your dad. Question. If you were going to cast the movie of the father-son fucker, who would you cast? I mean, regardless, she can play herself. Who would you see playing the father and son?
I think they need to be very hot. I would go with Brad Pitt but like quarantine Brad Pitt.
We've talked about this.
And
as two people who have never thought Brad Pitt was the hottest man to walk the earth, the second he became unshowered and grew his hair out, Melissa and I were like, have you seen him? He is so hot.
Yeah.
He looks like he is like Venice Beach living. He looks like he smells, and I've only ever been attracted to him.
I've been attracted to him in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That movie's just hot. The whole movie's just hot. And then never again until quarantine.
He looks like he doesn't have a job, and like,
but he's out here like
so hot.
helping like so many people. Like seems okay. But yeah, him and who would be the son?
Like a Zac Efron type?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So my mind initially went to Dennis Quaid and Jack Quaid. Because mostly because like Dennis Quaid has that like hot dad kind of thing.
Oh, I got another one.
Don't say Tom Hanks and Colin Hanks because that is not.
No, it's not a father-son.
Okay, who else?
I was gonna go with why can't I fucking think of his name? That was Blue Eyes, Kind Eyes, in Parks and Rec. Rob Lowe.
You should have just said the other guy when we were talking about loving Brad Pitt, the other old guy that you said that you think is the only other white dude who you've been attracted to through the whole course of their life.
Yes.
He is so delicious.
Mm-hmm. Here's another one.
Who? Oh no. Oh, I'm not ready.
I was just thinking of a father-son. Denzel Washington and John David Washington.
Well, first of all, that one, they have the same face.
I know, so and the exact same voice. Do
you know how many times I've watched movies with John David Washington? And I literally was like, did they age down Denzel?
You can't like see, so.
Oh, no, it is true. But this was like, even when we watched, what was the first one? Black Klansman. At first, I thought it was like they did the CGI thing and he was going to age and then like it'd be Denzel. But I was like, no, this is your son. They look.
It's the voices too. The voices is what gets me.
If you take this part, because their hair is completely different. But if you take like middle forehead here, you face swap, same person. They look like, when I said that to Mazo, I was like, oh my God, that's his son. And Mazo's like, really? I'm like, what do you mean, really? They look the same. Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, every time I'm thinking of a hot dad, I keep realizing that their children are not old enough. But this is, I am so curious. I'm so curious. And you know what we need her to call back, and in the update, we need her to cast them too.
Yeah. And
tell us who they would be.
Yeah.
Because then objectively, we can also pick.
Yes. Well, this has been long. We should just go to the break.
Okay. We're going to take a break. We'll keep on casting.
I mean, this like broke up.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
So we just have to take a break to reset. We know that we usually do another call at this time, but like, this is wonderful.
And please, I hope if any of you are not a part of our Patreon, this is the video that you should watch. Because our faces, I thought we misheard.
I did, like, we restarted this because one, Megan couldn't hear it all the way. And I, like, as it dropped, my mouth literally went.
We both went, whoa, what did she say?
Rewind.
Wow, we'll see you after the break. Okay. We are back from the break. We have decompressed a little bit. We are still unwell. And let's get on to the next call.
Hey, Megan and Melissa. So my fiance of 8 years broke up with me 2 weeks ago. I'm 26 and a Taurus, and let's call her A is 24 and a Virgo. The past month, she had been really distant, and since I have abandonment issues, I was really worried. She assured me that she wasn't going anywhere. She just wanted space since we spend a lot of time together and that she was busy with school. I felt like something was up, so I snooped on her Apple Watch and saw she received a video of one of her mutual friends fucking some girl, we'll call him Z. But she told me he was just trying to show off the girl, that they were just bros. I wasn't comfortable and asked her to distance herself from him. Then she was even more distant with me, so I asked her about it, and she said she would fix it and plan this big Valentine's Day date and bought me nice gifts. We had really good sex and felt better, and things felt better. The day before the date, she told me she was going to hang out with her sister and her mom, so I had one of my childhood friends come hang out with me. We'll call her N. But N was trying to get back together with Z. They used to date. So I told her what Z did, and I talked to her about how worried I was about A needed space. Well, when A got home at midnight, she came to bed and kissed me and snuggled me, held me, talked about how excited she was about the date the next day. It was the nicest she had been in a month. Then the next morning, she found out I told N about Z's video, and she flipped out on me and broke up. Then she said she hadn't been in love with me for years. Well, I snooped again a few days later, and it turns out she had never cut off contact with Z, and she had been basically dating Z's brother since December. That's where she was the night she told me she was going to see her sister. She said it was like a rom-com movie and that she was done with me and that I was so cringy. And it turns out my childhood friend N was just distracting me while A went out on a date, and she knew all about it even after I told her the truth about her ex Z. So now I just need advice on how to move on and what to do next. I have to move in with my mom now, which is a toxic environment, and I can't afford therapy, and now I have no friends. I'm not exaggerating. The few friends I have are hers too, and I can't trust them anymore. I'm completely alone, and I don't know what to do. I have never loved anyone like her, or has anyone ever loved me like she did. She loved all of my flaws. I was with her through a major weight loss surgery where she lost over 100 pounds, and when her dad died, and the panic attack issue she had. Now she has a brand new car and a good job, and I have nothing. I lost the life we built together. We were even planning a wedding. I think she left me for something better. Everyone seems to leave me. I'm scared I'm going to be alone. I'm not close to my family. Her entire family was my family for years. I even went on family vacations with them. I have no one. Thank you for listening. I hope you get this call. I really need advice. I'm not sure how to move forward after this. Thank you.
Okay, for everyone listening, we made a diagram. So the three names we have are N, Z, and A. And A is the person calling their ex-girlfriend. They have a friend, mutual friend, Z. Z sent a video of him fucking a girl to A, and the excuse was that oh, it's for the girl. Like, the girl looks great. I'm showing this, which
is, I mean, I think that's what happened because she's now with his brother.
But why would he send the video of he sent a video of Z himself. He sent a video of himself fucking some girl.
I think it could have been like, hey, look at this hot bitch I bagged.
You know, Leo and I send each other a lot of things. If he sent me a video of him having sex with a girl, I'd be like, you are disgusting.
But you see him as like a brother. She sees him as a bro. I think that's the difference.
Okay, I guess if Kyle sent me a video of him having sex with someone, I would be like,
someone that was super hot. Yeah.
No, you're right. Okay, and so then there's a childhood friend, N, and caller told N all about everything that happened, and turns out N already knew all of that stuff, and the only reason why they were really hanging out was to give A an alibi to go hook up with Z's brother, and she also was trying to get with Z.
But
back
and
together.
Then the caller also told N that Z was fucking someone else, right? And she thought she was doing something like, you know, being friendly, which you came upon the information while snooping, so then you gave it. It was already messy to begin with, but like. It's Z, right? Z's the friend that came over. Like
no, N
came over. So like, yeah, okay. I'll get into that later. But anyway, yes.
Okay. Point blank. So it like broke my heart to hear what you said at the end of the call, because you have been conditioned to believe that this person A like has loved you and no one else will love you in that way. Like, all of the actions you've told us is not something that you do to someone that you love. And
just because you were with someone while they were going through trauma, because you were talking about the things that you went through with her, but didn't mention anything that she has done to reciprocate that.
Yeah. And there's also something to be said of like, because you were with someone through their trauma, they don't owe you a relationship. Like, and that to me, like, just kind of screams unhealthy, is that it feels like, well, I was with you for all of this kind of stuff, that like, there should be no strings attached with that kind of stuff. There should be no like throwing it back in someone's face that like, oh, I was here for you, like going through your mental health stuff. Like, that's kind of just, that doesn't feel good. Like, that's like a shitty kind of feeling that it's like, oh, if you open up to somebody your mental health, like, therefore you are not like, what your ex did was shitty and deplorable, and the stuff they said to you was awful, and like, they should have never done any of this kind of stuff. But like, from your reaction to it, this sounds like a very toxic relationship on both ends.
And the thing is, you knew something was up, or else you wouldn't have snooped multiple times. You knew something was up. You weren't on the exact right track of what it was, but whatever it was, you didn't. What you found led you in a different relationship than what was actually going on. But you knew something was off, so you can't. In hindsight, you're like, I'll never love someone like this. But like, you love them, but you didn't love them. Like, you loved them, but you didn't trust them.
Yeah, this is like, you guys dated for 8 years. Like, this is a huge chunk of time, because you said your ex is only 24. This is like the longest relationship of your life. Is not like the longest relationship you've had up until this point is not like, it's not it. Like, that's not like, those aren't mutually exclusive, that like, oh, this was my love, I love this person, and therefore I will never love anybody else, is just not true. And like, yeah, just the way that you talk about the relationship, and like your own like self-conscious and insecurities, and like not feeling worthy, that is something that I think probably came about because of this relationship. Like, I don't think like, if your self-worth is tied to a relationship that is with someone who's like actively treating you badly, you are accepting that as love, because the person who's treating you badly has told you it's because of love. Like, this is, yeah, they've been, also she's been like essentially secretly dating the brother since December.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's why they're bros, because they're like bro-in-laws.
God.
But you didn't trust her, and also like you broke her trust as well because you snooped and got like confidential information and then shared it with your friend who was also like already in it to deceive you. So it's just like everyone in this situation is toxic. Everyone.
100%. This is like, there are friends that you don't necessarily share specific things with because of whatever reason. And like the fact that the friend that you shared this information with is like the person who's involved in the videos, like her ex, like it's just messy. And like you said, like all of it is toxic and you need to cut out all of these people. And you saying that you have no other friends and you really don't have any of that stuff. Like to me, that screams like, again, a toxic relationship where you have been isolated from everybody. And like that, I think sometimes that can be hard when people are younger and dealing with this kind of stuff, that it doesn't necessarily feel like isolation because you're not getting rid of friends, but your partner is making you feel like you don't need anybody else. So you're not seeking out new friends. And so you're not making any friends because like your partner is again making you feel like, well, you're part of my family and like you have my friends and all of this, like you are just in all of this, that it just kind of becomes on autopilot. And that is isolating because then inevitably, eventually, if you break up, which like you do, you then have nobody. And like that is still a form of control. It's not asking you to get rid of the people who are actively in your life. It's preventing you from getting any new people in your life. So I think this is like a great opportunity for you to like, I would start therapy if you're not in therapy already, because like a lot of the baggage that we carry from like toxic relationships affects, it doesn't just affect us in relationships, it affects us how we see ourselves and how we perceive ourselves in like our everyday life. And doing that self-work, and if therapy's not like, if you're not, I mean, I would look into like your insurance and all of that stuff, but if you are not able to do that and it's not covered by your insurance, even just reading lots of like books on like getting over toxic relationships and like self-worth and all of that kind of stuff, I think would be really like important. And then finding things that you can do that like make you happy, like in a pandemic, like whether that's, I mean, I know there's a lot of like virtual organizing and volunteering, but there's also a lot of like virtual clubs and all of that kind of stuff. And like finding those communities of people that you can just make connections with and talk to and rekindle old friendships of people that you maybe knew growing up or people who have shared interests or anything like that. But like cut out everyone who's tied to any of these people.
Yeah.
I also just would love to know if the girl that Z was fucking in that video consented to them sending the video.
Yeah. Consenting to it being recorded in the first place.
Oh, that's what I meant. Sorry. Yeah. Consented
like
to
being recorded and then being sent.
Just yeah, like sent around to people. And if that was...
And I guarantee that your ex is not the only person he sent that video to.
No.
There's also the aspect of her now living with her toxic family too.
Oh, yeah. One last thing I'll say on that, though, is regardless of how much you have been hurt by someone, and I'm saying this is like a PSA to everyone, like, oh, you found a video of your like boyfriend or someone like having sex with someone, like that is, if you are not aware, if you don't know for a fact and you don't have in writing that the other person had consented to be filmed and consented for that to be sent around, do not share that. Like that does nothing like to damage your partner, like their reputation or whatever, like, but you need to stop. We need to make sure we're not taking in this, like getting even or like exposing like toxic partners or like cheating people or anything like that. You need to make sure that you are not also lumping in other women and distributing pornography or whatever it is without their consent, because like that has nothing to do with your relationship.
Also, that you're not your non-friend, I will call her, since she knew about all the information about everything else. Like since they were broken up, she really didn't have a right to know that had been sent.
And we do a lot of things when we're like angry and upset and all of that kind of stuff. But like when there are other people involved in those things, like that's not a casualty that's okay to take, because like that person did not hurt you. And I mean, they proxy, sure, they did. They slept with like your boyfriend or they slept with someone. But in this case, it wasn't that. But that's not something that you can distribute it's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not okay. So yeah, toxic family.
I think we've given this advice before, but thinking of it as a temporary thing while you're getting...
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Things together so that you can, because I mean, you moved out because you found out some terrible things about your girlfriend. So you needed somewhere to go, and you don't have friends right now. So think about this as a temporary thing while you're figuring out like your life outside of your ex, who you are. And I know that it's going to be toxic, but like it's not going to last. This is just you saving money to get on your feet, maybe finding a roommate down the line. It's not going to be a forever type thing.
Yeah, it's about preserving your sanity, and it's not about repairing a relationship or fixing anything or like anything like that. The best advice I can give is to detonate the bombs. Like, look out for the things that like trigger those like really toxic conversations or any of that kind of stuff. And like, does it suck to kind of like tiptoe around somebody or to like repress your personality or to like do anything like that? Like, you have to do what will make living there the least painful experience as possible. And if that means like if your mom is someone who like really feeds off of like engaging in fights, like if for you, if she baits you and baits you and baits you and you just kind of ignore it and ignore it and ignore it, and you just like let her be upset and you're like, okay, you're right. If you need to do that, do that. Like, you don't have to, this doesn't have to be like a growth period or a progress period in your relationship. Like, you can just exist and go do the best that you can of your ability to predict the explosions and avoid them as best as possible. Because that's how it works. Because it's like living with horrible roommates. It's like anything like that. But it is about like molding yourself to become the least offensive version of yourself to that person and just making it day by day. And it sucks, but it is like you said, it's like, this is temporary. I'm saving money. This is what I'm doing. And I'm like working towards this goal. But the other thing I would say is, because it's really hard to create emotional boundaries with toxic people, especially when you live there, do your best to create those physical boundaries and like keep your door locked. If you are able to, like, keep your door locked and really make sure that like your room is like a sanctuary and all of that kind of stuff, that you can really have some like space from that. But it's rough, and I feel for you, because I can't imagine how hard it is to kind of have something that you thought was going to be like the end all be all in all of this. But I really can't encourage therapy enough, because I think you will, and I think even without therapy, there's a natural progress of relationships. But right now you're romanticizing it, and in a couple months, you're going to look back and see things that you didn't even realize were red flags were red flags. Because this is like not how you treat the love of your life. No.
Hey, Megan and Melissa. So I'm a 22-year-old Gemini, she, her, and my boyfriend is a 23-year-old Virgo, he, him. And we kind of came across the first hiccup in our relationship. We've been dating for about a year now. So this issue is that I want to add something to our sex life, and he kind of isn't on the same page as me. So it's not that our sex life is bad to begin with, but I am your typical Gemini. I want change. I want new things. I'm very out with the old and with the new. And so lately I've just been getting kind of tired of our typical routine. And so I brought this up with him, and I suggested that we bring a toy into the bedroom. And I even asked if he wanted to get the toy or we could get one together. And he really wasn't up for that. He got kind of defensive. And I know he gets pretty insecure about his endurance because he doesn't really last long, but he'll always get up for a second round, which I've always told him is completely fine as long as he's been up for a second round, and it's good for me. But it still didn't really go over that well. So I was just wondering if you guys had any ideas on how I could go about this in other ways. You should also know that I've only had a fully functioning vagina for 2 years now. Before that, sex was very painful for me. I really didn't want to do it. I did actually have a few encounters where things were non-consensual, and I've been working through that. But now I'm ready to explore and do new things. And for lack of better terms, my boyfriend's pretty darn vanilla, and he's not really on the same page as me. I'm not really sure how to go about this dynamic. I've also thought about going to a sex therapist with him or just couples therapy in general, but he doesn't have insurance right now, and he doesn't know if he'll get it until like the end of the year. So if you guys have any tips on how I can communicate with him better or how we can go about this, that'd be great. Thanks, guys. Bye.
One of my fatal flaws is I am not someone, I mean, I don't think women should have to like fix men in general, but I am not someone who I'm a quitter. I'm like like that. I'm like a big deal breaker person, but I think it's also like has to do with age too, that like at this point in my life, like I would not date anyone who's emasculated by like sex toys or anything like that. Like that's not something I want to deal with. But at the same time, I understand that like for younger people, that's not necessarily, I don't want to say it's like men are lost causes. Do you know what I mean? But like, it's not your responsibility. But I also don't want to be like, well, then he should just date someone who like doesn't want, like, because I'm like, everyone would benefit from this. Then you're like,
but then I'm also like, okay, let's say that he is emasculated by a toy, which, you know, I mean, that is his right to be, if that's what he likes.
Technically.
But like, is he not eating you out? Is he not doing other things that his dick does not have to be hard for?
The 2 rounds thing is a little odd to me in the sense that like, are you someone who is like continuously coming from penetrative sex? And like, is he getting off before you every time?
Yeah.
Because that's just a timing issue then.
But also it could be like, he just doesn't last that long, or he needs to like shoot one out first and then the next round he's like good to go, which is that does happen. Yeah. So like, let's say like you give him a blowjob, then he goes down on you, and then you guys can have penetrative sex. That seems like that would help with the situation because everyone's getting off. But I think you're lacking some intimacy with the sex as well, since he's not willing to explore and be open and even like, you know, even open to new things.
Yeah, because I think the order, if you are coming fast, the order, if you're in a heterosexual relationship, you're a male and you are coming fast, your order needs to be eat her out. If you want 2 rounds, eat her out. She goes down on you. Everything's cleaned up. You're using protection, and then you have sex or something like that after, because. Or even after, like, he eats you out, you go down on him. Then if you guys aren't in the mood for round 2, then cool. But like, if you are not getting off until the second round, that to me, like, that's an indicator of, oh, I see why you don't want to use any sex toys. Like, you're really not valuing your number one priority is not my pleasure. Yeah. It's you. Yeah. And you don't, and this isn't going to do anything for you. And so like, yeah, this is odd. I will also say, as someone who's like a huge proponent of couples therapy, 1 year into a relationship at 23, that is that to me is not couples therapy territory. Like, I think
don't know.
that
I have friends that like started couples therapy like once they declared their relationship as serious.
In their early 20s?
Not in their early 20s, but...
Because I think that's the thing. I think if you can see if you're older, because I think that's when, to me, these are just like, unless you're using it as like a replacement for like individual therapy in that kind of like sense that it feels easier to like tackle something as a couple first. But 1 year into a relationship, especially that young, like you guys are both still learning so much like about each other and yourselves that like, putting in that work, how have you decided that this is the person you're going to end up with for the rest of your life? And if you haven't decided that, I don't think that like that's like a couple's problem. I think, or even a problem in general.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
I think, like, if you need to have, like, talk to a third party about it, I would do individual therapy because,
But also maybe it's like you didn't speak on how like the rest of your relationship is. Like, are you actually looking for couples therapy or sex therapy?
Good question. Yeah. Because also if you're looking for sex therapy, if your partner is not
open-minded to explore other things.
Yeah.
And also there's like, you can go to therapy without like, there's options if you don't have insurance.
Yeah. And I think like you also, you both might just be like not sexually compatible. Mm-hmm. I think as a blanket statement, someone who is like not okay with sex toys and not really prioritizing like his partner's orgasm, like that's a fundamental problem of his. And it's also not your responsibility to like fix that and change that at all. Because any guy that I've talked to who like how they learned to go down on a girl or how they learned any of that stuff, it was because they had like a girl they hooked up with who was like, whoa, you're terrible at this. Let me tell you. And they were like so eager to learn. And they're like, yes, like it wasn't like resistance of like, no, I'm too good for this. Like, I don't need any of this kind of stuff. Like that sucks to say that like, I'm not saying that he's like a lost cause, but it's not, this isn't your responsibility to like make him to the level of like excitement or like stuff that you kind of want. But yeah, like I think if he is uncomfortable with like throwing in a vibrator in the bedroom, like he's not going to be comfortable going to a sex therapist, and you're not going to get anything out of it. Mm-hmm. And I think that like
or it could be like they go and he learns or he as through therapy and he uncovers or it opens his mind to exploring more things. Like he might have like some suppressed sexual things or just his ego, and going to sex therapy can teach him that it's not about just him.
My only thing, unless it's something that he wants to do, I don't think he'll let himself be open to that. Like, I don't think that, like, I think like stubborn men are stubborn anyone, but like, we're kind of like toddlers. Like, you can't make us do anything we don't want to do. And so in that case, I think like you have to have like a serious conversation with him that it's like, okay. And like, I don't want to say like, don't spare his feelings, but like give the prerequisite of like, I really like you. Like, I like having sex with you. Like, this is like fun, but like, I need to be honest with you. Like, I am like, want to mix up our sex life. I want to like try all this kind of stuff. Like, what do you think about that? And if he's like, I'm not into that, I don't want to do that. It's like, okay, so then what do you propose we do? And if he's like, I propose that our sex life stays exactly the same. You're like, well, I'm unhappy with that.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you say to that? And then like you get from there, because this is not something that I think there's necessarily like I think there can be a compromise on this where it's like, okay, well, I'm not necessarily really comfortable trying sex therapy, but like, okay, let's try it like a vibrator or whatever. But if he is like so steadfast in his opinions and is like, no, this is what I like, I don't give a shit about what you want or what you like, that's a bigger indicator that the relationship is not it for you at all. Because that I don't even like, there might be some reasons why he's feeling that way and all of that kind of stuff, but you shouldn't have to compromise your like happiness and your pleasure because of that, especially if you are throwing out multiple suggestions and he's just like, no, I know you've told me you're unhappy in this and this is not what you want. And I hear you, but this is what I would rather you be unhappy.
Yeah, I'd rather you not enjoy pleasure while we're having an intimate relations. That means that it's just about him and he's just being selfish.
Yeah. And I need to know, is he not going down on you first? Because I
don't think he is.
I don't think he is either.
Give us an update. Let us know what goes on.
And if you have not left the book, She Comes First, just casually around, you should also do that and let us know what he says.
All right. Time for Don't Blame Them.
Woohoo! This is where someone calls in from and gives us advice from a call we had on the previous episode. Their own 2 cents. Maybe they have personal experience. Maybe they are a professional. Maybe they just have something to say.
So this, the original call was in season 7, episode 15. And the caller, her partner's, I think visa was expiring. And so she wanted to move to Spain and wanted the caller to move with her.
Hilaria Baldwin? Barcelona?
All right.
Hi, Megan. I'm actually calling in response to your newest episode called She Wants Me to Move to Spain. I have been in a similar situation as this caller on a smaller scale where I met my long-term boyfriend in Pennsylvania and his family was from Florida. And he ultimately did always want to move back to Florida with his parents because he's very close to them. And I was kind of left with the decision of upheaving my life and moving about 1,000 miles away, or ending the relationship / going long distance, which we went long distance for about 6 months just because he wanted to leave before I could tie things up at school and work. But obviously moving to Spain is a much bigger jump than a 3.5-hour plane ride from northern U.S. to southern U.S. And just in this short move, I've experienced, I'd say a lot of things that I didn't expect. It's lonelier than I thought it would be. And you're kind of in the dynamic where he has family here and he has friends here that he grew up with. And I kind of have nobody for a while until I made my own support system, that even if you have a fight or something, he had somewhere to go and I had nowhere. I mean, I would have been staying in my car overnight if I felt like I just couldn't be in the house. And I feel like it's not anything to scare you. It's just, you kind of have to think of it as being a hard yes or a hard no in a relationship. It's like religion or anything else. You're either going to agree upon it, or if you don't agree, you have to decide if this is relationship ending for you. If it matters enough, is this something that is going to be a deal breaker, or is it something that you can live with? So just wanted to wish the caller good luck and say, I mean, I did it, like I said, on a smaller scale and I made it work, but it was hard for the first couple of years. So if you decide to make the move, stick it out, see how much of a support system you can get over there. but realize that if this is too much for you and you feel like it's not fair to have to move your whole life for them, and you feel like that is a deal breaker for you, it's not selfish to say that. It's okay. If you don't want to do this, it's okay to end the relationship over this. You just got to do what's best for you right now.
Very good, very honest advice. Not something I would have expected from someone who's been, you know what I mean? Like that, like someone who's done it. Like this was like a very honest, realistic kind of thing, which I think is a good call. Thing. Well, great advice. And great advice is given by us today. What?
This felt like an old school episode.
I know. I feel like we're on a couch together. Mm-hmm. Like this gave me pre-Panini press. Wow. What a fucking episode. If you want to call in for an upcoming episode or you want to give us an update, leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976, or international listeners, send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. You just record on your voice notes app on your phone or whatever the equivalent is and email it over. Again, 18 or over, have your parents' permission. Let us know your pronouns. Keep it under 3 minutes. Practice and write it down. Don't forget ages and all of that stuff. We had a good amount of information. I was able to draw lots of diagrams for this episode. It's very helpful for me. If you want to listen ad-free, we are on Stitcher Premium. And we have video versions on Patreon. And we also have a $5 tier for live streams. How fun are our live streams?
I love them. We've got one coming up this week. We got a schedule. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoy. I mean, the last time, I liked when we do the theme ones. Well, I mean, we've only done one. But the last time we talked about an amazing woman named Meghan Markle.
My sister.
My cousin, because all Black people are related. So
you're actually probably more closely related than me.
I mean,
we are.
You guys
sorority
have
sisters.
said vows that connect.
Yeah, I don't remember them, but we definitely said them.
Yeah, so join us. They're a good ass time,
and they're a great way to support the show if you like us doing this show, because it need to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
And follow us on Instagram, Don't Blonde Meme Pod. Follow our personal Instagrams, buy my book, buy my presets, of the docket, of the link tree of all of the things that you do. Is there anything specific you would like to promote?
Next week, I would like you guys to listen to Not Too Deep with Grace Helbig, where we have one of my most favorite people that has ever graced the Real Housewives franchises, Lisa Vanderpump. And by this point, I have been to her house.
I can't believe it.
And I'll report back next episode about how that went.
I can't wait to listen. Wait, you said check out Not Too Deep.
Yeah. She was a guest on Not Too. I met her this Thursday already.
Oh my God, I need to hear about this. Okay. That is it for our episode. We hope you all enjoyed. Leave us a rating on Apple Podcast app. Say, wow, I never knew these women could be, and actually I know women are capable of everything. These two women happen to be very sexy and intelligent and just godly.
As my shirt says, if you're reading this, that Megan gave me the shirt, actually.
I did. I have one too. We can match.
I know. The force is female. We should get pictures with both these shirts on. We got to do a new photo shoot anyway.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Wear a mask. Bully your local Republican. And don't kill anybody. Bye.
Bye.
Don't Blame Me is a production by me, executive produced by Melissa DeMonts, edited by Katrina Henning, and music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso. Hey, are you ready for some real talk and some fantastic laughs? Join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
We're serving up 4 hilarious shows every week designed to entertain and engage and, possibly enrage you.
And Don't Blame Me, we dive deep into listeners' questions, offering advice that's funny, relatable, and real.
Whether you're dealing with relationship drama or you just need a friend's perspective, we've got you.
Then switch gears with But Am I Wrong, which is for listeners who didn't take our advice and want to know if they are the villains in the situation.
Plus, we share our hot takes on current events and present situations that we might even be wrong in our lives. Spoiler alert, we are actually quite literally never wrong.
But wait, there's more. Check out See You Next Tuesday, where we reveal the juicy results from our listener polls from But Am I Wrong?
And don't miss Fisting Friday, where we catch up, chat about pop culture, TV, and movies. It's the perfect way to kick off your weekend.
So if you're looking for a podcast that feels like a chat with your besties, listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.